Hi guys, in this lesson, geometry lesson number 12, I just want to explore a few of the ideas on GeoGebra. So it's probably not as structured as some of my lessons, but I hope that you're able to gain something from it. So this program is not a paint and drawing program. It's not designed for art projects. However, you can create art on it. Whether it's designed for measurement, it's designed for geometry, precision, and so on. And it follows the postulates outlined earlier in the course, Euclidean postulates. So let me give you an example of what I mean by that. So if you were to start by, let's say we wanted to do a construction where we had a line or line segment and a point between 2 points. The order in which you construct it matters greatly. Let me give you an example. If I start with a point and then I think, oh, that point A, I want it to be between two other points on a line. So let's say I try to draw a line around it or a line segment. Let's say I go then choose my line segment tool and I want to put the point so that you can kind of see how A looks to be between B and C. But if you examine it very carefully, you'll see that it doesn't look exactly like A is on the line. In fact, if you zoom in, you'll notice, oh, I missed it just a little bit. And that's because if we want A to be between B and C, and that means that A would depend upon B and C, or the point between, I'd have to construct it in the reverse order. So the correct way to get something to be between would be first to draw the line segment. Okay, in this case, it's relabeled A and B. And then I choose my point and I wait till my cursor, notice it looks different when I put it or hover it over the line. It turns into like a pointing hand. Then I click. Now I've designed it so that the point C is in fact between A and B. It's linked in that segment. And you'll notice the difference when you try to use the dynamic features of GeoGebra, which make it a really cool program. What I mean by dynamic is that it changes or moves, and the properties still hold the same. So if you click the move button at left, you can now move A, right? And you can now move B, but notice that C still stays between them. Now, if you try to move C, something different happens. What you notice is that when you go up and down, it doesn't really go up and down. It can only go left and right. That's the design of this program. Since we drew A and B first, then C, which was drawn second, depends on A and B. And so C can only go on this fixed line segment between A and B. It doesn't have the ability to go up or down because I placed it on that line segment. So those kinds of ideas become very important for us when we design something with dynamic features. So let me give you another example. Let's say I'm going to go a little bit ahead to some future lessons, but you can play with these tools. If I click more, one of the things I can do with a line segment is I can bisect it. I can cut it right in half. And so if I were to find the midpoint or center, notice in constructions, midpoint or center, I can choose that. And I can click anywhere on this line, and it puts a point exactly in the middle. Now the way that I've designed it, since I chose the midpoint construction, it's set in that way. If I go back to my move feature, I can still move A and B. Notice when I make it really small, C still sits right in the middle, right? Because it's a smaller distance. Sorry about this pop-up window here. And if I make it wider, C still sits in the middle. And now if I try to grab C and move it left or right or up or down, it doesn't move. And the reason it doesn't move is because I used a construction feature that forced it to always be the midpoint or center. So those are important things to think about. Some things we want to be able to move around and some things we don't want to be able to move. So let's try a different construction since I'm playing around. Let's say I wanted to make an equilateral triangle. That would be a triangle with all sides the same length. Well, one thing you could do is you could grab your polygon and you could just, start drawing a triangle and you go, oh, okay, well, that looks, sort of looks equilateral. Kind of looks like all the sides are the same length. But it's not really. If you would examine all the distances, it's not exactly right. So that's an imprecise triangle. And when you draw a triangle in that way, what's cool about it is that it's dynamic. Look, you can turn this triangle into looking like any kind of weird triangle you want to look at. And that's kind of fun and cool. Oops, I went too far. But if you were to design it or construct it so that it's always an equilateral, that would be different. And the way you can do that is you can use the circle with center and radius tool. If you made a circle, not the circle of center and radius. I chose the wrong one. Circle with center, and you chose that, and you chose that there. You would construct a third point that you can get with the intersection feature up there, and you can create that equilateral triangle, and it will always stay fixed. Let me examine that in a future video.